answering rebuked him, saying, Does not thou fear God, seeing thou art in the same condemnation?
Verse 41.
And we indeed justly, for we receive the due reward of our deeds, but this man has done nothing amiss.
Has done nothing wrong. And some of you are on your jobs, some of you are in your communities, and some of you are in situations where you see people are under attack, and they haven't done anything wrong, but just because the boss man don't like the fact that they read their Bible on their break, or just because the fact that their boss man don't like the fact that they're involved with things that are not of them, and they call the ungodly to be ungodly, they call the unrighteous to be unrighteous, that will cause a lot of people to be attacked. And so if the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man needs to be in a situation where they have an understanding, saying, you know what, I'm going to stand with the Most High. I don't care if this is going to be popular or not. So if you just joined us today, today's lesson is, even the darkest day shall see the sunrise. Verse 42.
And he said unto Jesus, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom.
See, they need to come to a point in each one of our lives. Each one of our lives. When we come to the understanding that there is no name under heaven other than Christ in which men shall be saved. And I understand that you're looking on TV and Oprah telling you that, this is the new age movement, and you got all these other people saying you need to, they need to get to know yourself. But let me tell you right now, regardless of the life you have lived, regardless of the mistakes that you have made, regardless of the shortcomings that you may have, you got to come to that point where you do a self-analysis of yourself and look to Christ and say, listen, I know that without you on my side, I'm not going to make it. And this is going to be the only way our communities, the so-called black man, the so-called African-American man in this country is going to be in a position where they can actually get out of the situation that we are. See, the last couple of weeks, we told you that you were chosen. But just knowing that you're chosen doesn't mean anything without some actions. You understand what I'm saying? Every day you go without giving your problem to the Most High is another day that you got to keep it. And this man had a serious problem. He's on the cross, and he's about to die. And he has not gave his life to Christ. He has not walked in the laws and statutes and commandments of the Most High. And he knows right now, I'm in this situation. If I don't do something here right now, I'm doomed to hell. And how many of you out there that listen to me today right now are in a situation where you're about to lose everything you got? Some of you may be on a sick bed. Some of you, your child is getting to the point where you're about to make your child walk away from you. You're about to make your husband or your wife walk away from you. And you're in a situation where, listen, if the Most High don't move right now, you're done. And remember, I told you that if you respond properly to uncomfortable situations, it will lead you to have an uncomfortable tomorrow. So you see what his response was, and look at what Christ tells him in the next verse, verse 43.
And Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, today shalt thou be with me in paradise.
Even the darkest day shall see the sunrise. My man's day was really, really dark. He was a few breaths away from everything being over. But Christ told him, this day, not next week, not maybe, not if you pay your tithes, not if you come to my programs, none of that. He said, this day you shall be with me in paradise. If you're just joining me today, today's lesson is, even the darkest day shall see the sunrise. I want to encourage you today that the devil will not waste his time, his tricks, his efforts, or thoughts towards you if your dreams wasn't possible. That's the reason why he's doing what he's doing to our people. Because he understands what the Most High is about to do for us. And so he's doing everything he can to get us off the path. This is why you have so many distractions with Egyptology and Islam and all these other things coming to try to get our people from Christ in the Bible. But even the darkest day shall see the sun rise. Your thoughts, your dreams, your hopes, your goals are possible. There is a destiny that awaits you. So welcome to the awakening of our people. Amen? Now, let's go in your Bibles to Exodus, the 14th chapter. Exodus, the 14th chapter. We're going to read several verses there. We're going to start at verse 1. Even the darkest day shall see the sun rise. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care what people have said. I don't care how it looks. We know our situation looks unfixable. We see it every day. Somebody's getting killed unworthily every day. Every day. They're ramping it up. You watch your news, the so-called terrorists have the narrative has switched from the Arabs to us. Every time you look on TV now, there's a picture of somebody looks just like you and they call them a terrorist. Every day you turn around, every news cycle, over and over and over. This guy killed, this guy robbed, this guy shot, this guy got going to prison for selling dope, this guy molested, and this guy raping. Over and over, while the rest of us, the majority of our people, are sitting back saying, there's no hope. They're going to churches over and over and over, no answers. They're going to everybody else, no answers. And they're saying, what are we going to do? So today, these verses that we're going to give you is going to be an encouragement for you to see that every time Israel was in a bad situation, the Most High always delivered. He never failed. He never came up short. So if he said it, he will do it. Amen? Exodus 14. Start there in verse 1.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal-zephon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in land and wilderness, have shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts. The Egyptians may know that I am the Lord, and they did so.
All right, now, some key things that I wanted to show you here. This is why we showed you this first before we went into the rest of the verses. Every situation that the enemy is trying to do to your life, if you stay connected to the Most High, he will reveal it to you before it ever happens. And see, this is the problem. Most of us are trying to start seeking the Most High after the problem comes versus seeking the Most High on a daily basis. Right? So when you stay connected to the vine, as it says in John the 15th chapter, you're getting constant downloads, constant information, constant revelation, constant understanding. But see, the problem with our people, we have came to a point where the only time we truly only think about the Most High is when you go to church on Sunday. Right? And so you come home. Some of us don't even take the Bible out of the car. Right? But some of those that do, you write your notes down and you take notes while you're studying, while the preacher's preaching, and you read them, and some of you may even go over them throughout the week. But that's basically about it for the most people. Even when it comes to preachers, most people only study when they have to preach. And so without that, they really don't. They just do something what they call a devotional, where they read certain scriptures and then they go on with the rest of their day. But the Most High never told us to be that way. He told us to stay connected to him at all times. And so there's never going to be a situation in your life that comes about that the Most High is not going to make it aware to you before it happens. The Most High is never caught off guard. We may be caught off guard. Yes, there's going to be some times when the world gets pulled up from under us. A sudden death in the family, a sudden sickness, something may happen to your child. You may suddenly lose your job, or some situation like that you didn't see coming. But if you stay connected to the Most High at all times, there's going to be something that he's already told you to do. There's going to be some money that he's already told you to lay up or to give, or a seed that you have sown, that when you come into your season of need, that seed will manifest. Right? So before this even happened to them, before the situation ever went down, he already revealed it to Moses what was going to happen. Now, why is this important? Because many of you have convinced yourself that you don't need a leader, that you don't need to be submitted to a church or to a pastor. And you're deceiving yourself when you believe that you can do this out here on your own. Yes, you can have your own relationship. You have to work out your own salvation. But at the same time, he has told us in Ephesians 4 that he has given us apostles, teachers, prophets, evangelists, and pastors for the edification of the church. Right? He tells us in Hebrews to forsake not the assembly of the brethren. So that means that when you come together and you get around like-minded people, and you have a leader that's over your life, there's going to be some things that he's going to speak to the leader that can speak to you. Notice that in here, go back and read verse 1 from again.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying.
He spoke to Moses. He didn't speak to the people. Moses was the leader. Right? So without having a spiritual leader that is over your life, that the Most High has set to cover the people, you're going to be out here walking around and not even knowing when the situation comes. And this is one of the problems with our people, especially when it comes to our men. Our men think they got it all under control. They don't want to listen to anybody. So they got the wife taking the kids off the church while you sitting at home playing Madden. And then when the situation comes upon the house, you're like, yo, man, I don't know what we're going to do. The woman got more faith than the man because she's the one going to church and worshiping and crying out to the Most High while you just sitting back, I work, so I'm the king. No. Get off of that, man. You need to submit yourself to a leader and allow yourself to be in the position so when the situations come, you know what's going on. All right? All right. Now, go down to verse 10 there in Ephesians 14. Excuse me, Exodus 14. Go down to verse 10.